Is weight loss really just about eating less? That's what we've been told for years, but here's why that strategy keeps failing for most people and what actually works. I'm Dr. Ray Peralta, physical therapist, run coach, and exercise physiologist. And over the past 10 years, I've helped hundreds of people get healthier, rehab injuries, lose weight, hit PRs with a science based approach. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly why just eating less or cutting calories uh, doesn't always work, and how intermittent fasting can actually help you reset your metabolism and can help reduce your fat more effectively. Here's what we'll cover: why eat less, move more doesn't always work. How fat loss is more than just, calories in, calories out, and it's more hormonal. Why intermittent fasting creates a hormonal shift that calorie cutting alone doesn't always do, and what the research shows, and how to make this work for you. So, for the past, again, 50 plus years, we've been told if you just want to lose weight, just eat fewer calories and move more. But if that just worked, we wouldn't have these skyrocketing obesity rates over the world today, right? Everyone just eat a little bit less and move more, and everyone would be lean, having six packs. But the reality is that this approach ignores your body's adaptation. When you eat less, your body also burns less. Your metabolism, in many cases, also slows down to match the deficit. That's why people sometimes plateau, even though they've cutting calories. And over time, you just plateau, and then, or you may even regain the weight back the minute you stop doing this calorie deficit or counting calories. See, the real issue is insulin, not just calories, right? Insulin's a hormone. Obesity is driven more by a hormonal imbalance, and not just a surplus of more calories in. The key to hormones is that insulin, your body's fat storage signal. When insulin is high, fat burning shuts off, right? So every time you eat, especially carbs or snacks, insulin spikes. I mean, anytime you eat, the insulin can spike, but specifically when you're eating foods with high carbs or snacks. And when insulin stays elevated throughout the day, day after day, you will start becoming insulin resistant. That means your body stores even more fat, even if you're technically not, even if you're eating even less in some cases, right? And this is one of the causes then someone who's really insulin resistant goes from like becoming diabetic. So why intermittent fasting changes the game? So with intermittent fasting, it flips the script. See what happens when you fast: insulin drops, gives your body a break from the food, and allows the insulin levels, that hormone, to kind of taper down, to fall, unlocking stored fat for energy. You switch fuel sources. You move from more sugar burning mode, right, burning carbs, to burning more fat. So growth hormone rises. This protects lean muscle mass and supports fat burning, right? So fat loss. Adrenaline rises as well. Helps keep your energy and alertness levels up and not down. So unlike calorie restriction when you're eating less, where the body would slow down metabolism in response to what it thinks is food scarcity, fasting preserves metabolic function and focuses on a hormonal reset. In fact, a 2011 study compared women on a 5-2 intermittent fast versus those who reduced daily calories by 25%. Now, yes, both groups were technically in a caloric deficit and they both lost weight, but only the fasting group significantly improved insulin sensitivity. And a 2024 systematic review meta-analysis confirmed this. Fasting led to greater short-term fat loss and stronger reductions in insulin and glucose level, blood sugar levels, compared to caloric restriction alone. The difference: fasting created longer windows of low insulin, which broke the fat storage cycle, right? So you're not storing as much fat in your body because your body's now tapping into that stored fat in a more optimal way when you're doing fasting. So the core advantage of fasting isn't just about eating less. It's about giving your hormones a chance to recalibrate. And even though both methods, right, yes, if you reduce calories, you'll see weight loss in both methods, but only fasting generates the metabolic environment where your body actually prefers to burn body fat. So restricting all foods some of the time is more effective than restricting some foods all the time, right? So over the past 6 months, how about long term? Right? Like, okay, how about long term effects? Over 6+ months, both fasting and caloric reduction can produce similar weight loss, right? But only if you can stick with it, only if you really can stick with either method. The real difference comes down to how it affects your hormones, how sustainable it is for you, and whether it protects your muscle metabolism along the way. Now, from personal experience, I feel like fasting can feel easier, and people I've worked with as well, because there are no strict food rules, right? You don't have to go counting calories, doing low carb, low fat. It's just about time-based eating windows. And yes, some people may argue that's going to lead by condensing the amount of time you have to eat is going to lead to some caloric deficit. But however, again, I'm going to counter argue that's more about the hormonal balance as well, right? Making sure that your body's more sensitive to insulin. And if you're struggling with insulin resistance, right, people who are obese, some may argue that's actually a problem with insulin resistance, and also diabetics as well, or pre-diabetic, too much abdominal fat or belly fat, or plateaus, right? Maybe you tried caloric restriction, calorie counting in the past, but it didn't work for you. Intermittent fasting might be worth trying. So weight loss isn't just about the number of calories you eat, right? Eat less, eat more. It's when you eat, how often you spike your insulin, and whether your body is actually able to burn the fat. That's why so many people often fail with traditional diets, but succeed with fasting. Again, I'm not saying that calorie deficits don't work. They do work. However, when it comes to that hormonal balance, that hormonal shift, I see that intermittent fasting is the way. So if you want to run better, lose fat more easily, and break free from constant dieting, check out my free training link below. I'll walk you through how I help runners train smarter and get leaner without injuries or burnout. And hit like if this helped, subscribe for more real-world strategies, and drop a comment if you tried fasting or want help getting started.